A lot of noise gets made on the question of whether there is free will or not, especially recently. People in the last 10 years have started really engaging with this on a level that involves lots of people watching. It is a myopic and specious thing to say that there is a danger to it, to believing that there is no free will. First of all, I should say that the most significant issue about this discussion is slightly differing interpretations of the word will and free. It is basically obvious that there is no activity in existence that is totally free from any other influence or preceding cause. You will not find any kind of action in existence that comes completely alienated from any other part of existence. And to me, it seems appropriate to say that there is absolutely nothing. There is no kind of freedom of alienation of activity in existence. And it is absurd to say that people will run around killing people, stealing things, doing bad things, if they suddenly believe that there's no free will. It doesn't change anything at all whether you suddenly subscribe to this philosophy or the philosophy that there's a God somewhere elsewhere and this God gave you some free will, or there's no God but we're all conscious thinking agents and we have free will, or the ones of us who are normal humans. You could be some kind of monk who sits in a cave for 2 years and perhaps even your heart stops beating for some of that time. Let's say for a moment there, the blood stops flowing in your body, your hair stops growing, the trees are still blowing, wind is coming, rain is there, dirt is still around you, slowly transforming, or unless you're some other kind of particle, maybe it's fast. And let's say suddenly the blood starts turning, and then there's a thought, and then the monk says, or if you're the monk, you say, hello. You just say hello because you saw a bird and you say hello to it, maybe. And you might say, well, that's free will because it didn't come from anywhere, but it actually came from exactly the same place as where my words are coming from right now. Other things, other activity, other influences. You could have no thoughts for some time and then suddenly look to the right and say, well, that was free will because I wasn't thinking of anything and I just chose to look right without any influence. But it's actually a myopic analysis of what's happening in reality, in my opinion or in my observation. You don't take into account that you have all this energy in your body. It comes from somewhere and it sits in a certain way, and it seems that there's the situation of thoughtlessness for some time, and suddenly the sensation of looking to the right. It all comes from somewhere. None of it is spontaneously generated. None of it is alienated from anything else or from the past. It is quite absurd to hear people consistently say that there is a danger in thinking this, that people might run around committing atrocities and saying, I actually don't have free will. How can you put a human in jail when you don't believe there's free will for that human after the human's done some activity that has caused some suffering for some people, or done something that enough of people have determined to be worthy of putting a human in jail for doing? How can you put the human in jail, punish it, if there's no free will. Well, actually, it's actually quite dangerous to say that there is this thing called free will and every human has it, and so when they commit an action, we need to punish them. We need to make them suffer. We actually just need to do some things that we all determine will make the person better or just make everyone else better. Something for the greater good. The person will still be sent to jail by a community that believes essentially we are all the same thing. There is no alienation of willing anywhere. It is all related, interconnected, this reality. The person running down the street, stealing things, bashing people, nonetheless needs to go somewhere and undergo some kind of treatment if they're found by us, by everyone else. And we might run some experiments and find that there's a treatment that is likely to help people, to help them get in a way where they can come back into society and be accepted by everyone else to walk around again. Saying that the person has no free will, ascribing to this philosophy, doesn't really change that at all. If anything, it changes the way that people like to torture other people in a form of revenge. That shouldn't happen. The only time someone is tortured should be because we believe it's going to make them better, not because it makes us feel better. That's just crazy. That's the kind of dangerous ideology that comes from thinking that there's a God and he gave us all this special thing called free will, and some of us use it to do bad things. And the God punishes them when they die, and we can punish them now. We should not be quick to forget that. Maybe the fastest growing religion, one of the biggest ones on earth. Billions of people believe that there's a God that created existence and is beyond any kind of comprehension of its own existence or genesis, origin. And this God, mind you, is good and omnipresent, omniscient, all-powerful. And this God instilled some special power into one man, namely the Prophet Muhammad. And Prophet Muhammad had a connection with God and got some messages, and Prophet Muhammad ended up cutting humans' heads off. Because that's what apparently God wanted him to do while he was inseminating the one true religion, because the God apparently had an interest in this. Wanted the human activity of cutting heads off humans and killing humans. Apparently this is, in the realm of what the God might want you to do. So it seems that we're actually in grave danger of people being influenced from a young age to think that there's such a thing as a God somewhere, all powers, can do anything, can make humans disintegrate even if it wants to, but it might want you to just cut their head off. You might prefer that. And suddenly these people in this danger, they might start thinking, hey, I've got free will. The God wants me to go and steal this food or kill these people because it'll be better. Call it my religion if you want. This is a real danger. But to say that one realizes that there is no action in existence that has any degree of alienation, this is not dangerous at all. There's still the experience of pain, anger, enjoyment, happiness. There's still these navigating situations. is indicating phenomena. Nothing really changes. One, you might say, well, how do we know that we exist? It's not really a big deal whether you want to say that you exist or not. It is what it is. This is it. Existence. First, you need to define what you mean by you. Do you mean your nails? Or do you mean the amino acids in your brain? Do you mean your heartbeat? Do you mean the bicep muscles? Because you can well and truly clench your bicep muscles when you receive the order. So someone might say, well, I am my bicep muscle. Well, it actually isn't free. It receives orders from the brain. And the brain is basically the same thing as a rock when you get down to the absolute essential of the situation, the absolute essence of it. It's energy that's transforming. No, there's no such thing as energy that's static, as far as I can tell. This free will discussion is just a matter of philosophy, is talking about an appropriate way to talk about existence, specifically the existence of what we call minds, human minds, even animal minds, the activity of direction, of decision. It's all just complex phenomena, energy unfolding, transforming. And some people get angry at you and say, don't you dare talk as if the reality is that there is no free will. And these people can get angry all they want. It won't change anything. You can sit there and say you don't exist all you want, because technically there's nothing for you to actually claim to be. Well, if you exist, you exist. But as what? As a matter of someone's philosophy. All there is existence. There is no alienated activity in it. Thinking this way is less dangerous than thinking that there's a mystery elsewhere and it controls all of this and it instills powers into this, like free will. The mystery is God and can do anything it wants, knows everything. That is actually dangerous, to bring humans up with that idea, because they'll run away doing dangerous things, and their reason will be that they're talking to God. That is more insane. And the person who runs down the street attacking people, saying, I don't even exist, I don't have free will, don't look at me and blame me, don't ask me why I'm doing this, or what's wrong with me, why I don't feel bad, I don't have free will. That's insanity. That's a malfunctioning situation, as in, it's not enjoying itself, it's not, or maybe it is, but if it is enjoying itself, it's going to get shut down really quickly. Maybe it's enjoying itself while it's in the cell, in a jail cell. Unfortunately, until we get better at detecting the kinds of people or situations that unfold in this manner, we're going to have to just catch them when the bad things happen. Until we get better at finding out what kind of situations lead to that kind of situation and how to actually intervene and change it so that that doesn't happen, or to just put the person in a cell first and foremost and let them enjoy existence there. Because if they don't enjoy it, there'll be some kind of way to program them and say, well, if you don't enjoy that, you would want to act like this so that you don't end up like that. It's a matter of intellectual honesty of this analysis of existence to say that there is no free will. And it's a matter of maturity to just accept that. To some people, in their definition of will and free, it's just obvious that there's free will.